All right, so we have built our case. We've used both the normal way right from the home page to create a case and add evidence, and then we use the investigative pathways to use the evidence. So this week we're going to do keyword searching, literal versus grep expressions, how to create word lists and search term strategies, or at least talk about them, and then looking at hits and using keyword maps. More so looking at hits. It's a little bit difficult to do keyword mapping in EnCase. You can do it outside of EnCase and then kind of take your efforts and do a more strategic keyword searching. We'll do some built-in filters, mostly by file type and other types of um, attributes that they have in the filters. We're going to do some conditions, um, a variety of different ones. And once you do one or two, it's pretty much straightforward from there. How to bookmark evidence, and then I'm going to have you work on a actual or create another case and then do some keyword searching as it relates to another piece of evidence that you can turn in for a grade. All right, so let's get to it. So again, we're in the um, EnCase VM, which seems to be just a smidge slow today. The EnCase. All right. Did I use the wrong version of EnCase last time? Interesting. Hold on one second. Oh, I got a bunch of them open. That's one of the dangers with the VM, that because it's a little bit unresponsive, if you get to clicking on things, you open up multiple versions of it. Well, isn't that interesting? All right. Let's see if those cases, my cases aren't populating, so I'm going to see if they're still there or if they got deleted off from the M drive, which is entirely possible. Or I'm not mapped. And that's why. So, all right, I got to restart the VM so that it maps to the courses real quick. So again, Shannon, I know that you probably haven't had a lot of experience with the VMs, but when you get here and you find that none of your cases exist, one of the things that you want to do is check to see if you're connected to the network. And the easiest way to do that is open up File Explorer, and you'll immediately get that error message that says we're not connected to anything, and you'll see that there's no shares. So the easiest solution to that, you can see I'm not mapped, right? I don't have mapping, is just to restart your VM, and it should map. All right, so I restarted it. Let's see what happens. It looks better. All right, so you can see that it's not mapping, like they don't show up. So let me show you how to. You should be able to, in EnCase, reconnect cases if they somehow get dumped, as long as the files are still there. So I'm going to hit Open Case, and I had saved mine out to the M drive, so I'm going to go out there. and I have cases folder here, and here's the ones that we did. So let's look at, I don't know what that is. Let's go to the first one. And if I come down here and click on ADC floppy, it should still be able to open it up. And when you reorientate or reconnect to a case, you really do need to make sure that your evidence is there. So I'm going to click on View and go to the Evidence tab, and it still shows that it's there. So I should be able to click on it and go right into it. So again, just if you were waiting for me to do this, I'm going to use the ADC floppy, and I'm going to do filters and conditions first, and then we'll do keyword searching after that. So go ahead and open up ADC floppy or ADC floppy version 2, whichever one that you want. And then go to the evidence tab and then double click it so that we can get to a file explorer view. Now, one of the things that we can talk about right at the beginning is most forensic tools have the ability for you to narrow your scope of your search before you even do any searching. And in EnCase, there's two different ways of doing it. So looking at the File Explorer view here, you see this little home plate. There's a variety of different home plates here. If you click that home plate, that tells the tool that I want to see everything that's associated with that hierarchical structure, right? Because I clicked the top one. Now I can come down and say, I only want to look in this directory, right? And then it will only work with and look at the things in that directory. So if I were to do my keyword searching with these, just this directory home plated, then it will only search in there. Now, of course, if you don't check anything, it's going to look at everything, or you can just check everything to make sure that you've got it, right? So that's just one of the things that you can do to kind of minimize your scope, right? If you really only want to look at, one particular user's activity, then you can just say, I just want to look in, John Smith's documents and settings directory if you want. But for our purposes, we'll just check them all, right? And then we'll do our work from here. So over here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have conditions and filters. Let's start with filters. And I'm going to adjust this a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to see. And I'm not really particularly interested what's over here in this area right now anyway. So you can see that filters across the top, we've got edit, new, and delete. Now, I don't do any building of my own filters in EnCase. I just think they have such really good default ones that there's really not much for me to do. So click on Filter tab and then open up the filters directory and open up default. And then you can see that there's a variety of different built-in filters already created. To build a filter, you have to do it in EnCase, and I'm not particularly proficient at it, so I just don't bother. If I want to build something, I'll build it in conditions, and that's where I'll show you how to do that. So given that the majority of what we're looking at in this particular evidence item are pictures, I will just come down and I'm going to say, hey, I want to find all items based on a category, right? So I'm going to double click that. And this template or this process works for all, right? All filters are basically the same way. So it tells us what our results are going to be, right? Find items based on category. And then it says, well, what do you want to look at? Entries, artifacts, or results, right? So because we haven't done anything, we've done no searching, we're going to look at entries. If we had already maybe carved out some results, maybe we said, hey, show me everything in a particular directory, then we could say, I want to further filter that. So I only want to look at the results of a prior search. And then we can do current view, current device, or all evidence. If we do current view, it's going to modify the view that we're looking at right here, right? It's going to change the way that we see things. which isn't necessarily bad, except for it won't stay there, right? It's not permanent. If we do current device, then it's going to look at the device itself and it's going to open us up a new tab. So I always encourage students on initial filters and conditions to do current device and then click OK. And it says, all right, we're going to look for items based on a category. Here's how EnCase has determined what the categories are. And if you kind of scroll through them, listed in alphabetical order, you can see applications, data, archives, a variety of different documents, emails, a whole host of different things. So I'm just going to come down and click picture. Just show me all things that are considered pictures. So that's going to include, bitmaps and JPEGs and PNGs and all the different types of images that we're going to see. Now I'm just going to click OK. And you can see down in the bottom real quick, it didn't take very long that it ran it here. So it opened up on a results tab, find items based on category. And the category you can see is pictures. And this is all the pictures that it found. Notice the fields, right? We've got file name. Here's our bookmarks, our canned bookmarks, and we'll talk about them later. The file extensions, logical size, the item type, so it's an entry, the category, the signature analysis matches, which means it looked at the first 8 bytes of the file data and matched it to the extension. So it's a match, and I think they all match. And then file type, it gives us a little more granular, right? JPEGs, image standards, GIFs, or GIFs, I guess, PNGs, a variety of different ones, right? And then we can scroll over and see last accessed, file created, write times. Is it indexed? Is it a picture? Yes. Is it bookmarked? No. Have we done anything with code page? Gives us the hash values and those kinds of things. So one other thing that I wanted to show you, all of these tables are, you can move them around, right? We can say, I'd really like to have the category up here. So I can just drag it and drop it and I can rearrange it however I want, right? And some of the important stuff like our hash values are way over here. We could move those forward if we want. You can select them if you want individually. You can go ahead and select them all, right? If you maybe want to copy them or something like that. We have a gallery view since we're looking at images. If we're looking for specific images, we can scroll through. Obviously, the more pictures there are, the longer it takes this gallery view to populate. And then you can modify it if you want with more columns or fewer columns. You can get a different view. And then the timeline function, which tells us a general idea of when they were created, written, and then accessed, right, are the 3 types that we have here. And of course, we can drill in by changing the time frequency or time range down to more specific week, right? And then we can go down to day and see when the particular files were created. Okay. I'm going to go back to table view. Occasionally, you'll want to export tables out of here. So I'm gonna select them all by checking select all. And then I'm gonna come over here to the right hand corner where it shows this hamburger. And I'm gonna click on that and I can do save as. And then I can extract it, right? I can show me only checked rows. Well, in this case, I checked them all. What is it that I want to see? Well, I'd like to see the name, the file extension, maybe the category, file type. And then how do I want to take it out? Do I want to take it out as an XML, a web page, RTF, or tab delineated? Notice that it takes it out as it gives it a file name of export.txt. So I would probably change this and say picture category .txt. And this is going to give me a list of all of them. And if I'm curious as to where it's going to save, I can open this up and it's going to save. By default, it will save to the case directory. in the exports folder, right? That's where I want to save it. So picture category.txt, I'm going to click save. I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to navigate there just to make sure that it's there. And there it is, right? So if I wanted to make this into an Excel spreadsheet to be a little bit nicer, I could just do File, Save As. Then I'll change it picture category.xls. Change that to all files so it doesn't throw a .rtf on the end of it. I'll hit save. Go back to that directory. Whoops, wrong directory. And there is the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so now I have it in a nice Excel spreadsheet. Only the things that I wanted to export. I didn't ask it to export all of the individual columns. So I'll close that. Actually, I'm not going to save it. Close that and get rid of that. All right. It's just a little bit slow. All right, so let's go back to the evidence item, evidence tab, and let's do another one, right? Let's do I don't know. We'll do find document. There's probably no documents in here. This time, let's do it under current view so you can see what happens when we do current view, right? So we're going to do current view, and we're going to click OK. And you notice that it didn't jump us to the results tab. It just changed our view. So it said, hey, I just found 110, 111 documents that you might be, I'm sorry, I just found a bunch of documents of the 111 files that we looked at. We found these documents, and look what it finds as, look what it considers documents, right? We've got .doc, txt, PDF, HTML document or HTM documents. We'll get stuck in there, and then txt, which I think I already mentioned, right? So a variety of different things. If I want to get back from here, I'll just hit the back button. And there's that, right? So I'm going to double click my evidence item so I get back to where I want. Here's my filter screen. So that's filtering, right? Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Look at what you want, and then you can move from there. Filtering's pretty straightforward. Let's look at conditions. Conditions also come with default conditions, and it's a little bit more granular. Like you can see that it's broken out emails, a variety of different emails, entries by file extension, by file types, dates, and sizes. It can find internet-based files, and then things that we've actually results, right? Our results where we can do that, create a condition to look at the results of a previous search. And then we have the ability to create our own. I'm going to get rid of these because they're carryovers. They stay with you. Let me get rid of them. And then we'll go through the process of writing some extension or some conditions. All right, so we won't use the default ones for right now. We're going to go ahead and just close out default. And you cannot, so if you try to, right, you can use them, right? But you can't create new default conditions. So we're going to come down here and click on user, and then we're going to click new. And this is the template, right? This is how we go about building our own conditions. So we're going to come over here to new, right? We're going to do new. And here's our categories. And these change depending on where you are and what you're looking at, right? So here's, we can do it by name, logical size, category, all the individual file attributes are enumerated here, right? So let's go to category, and then our operator. So our property is I want to look at categories, and then our operator is it equal to, not equal to, or matches, right? So I'm going to choose match, and then I'm going to come over here, and these are our choices. This is what we can match file categories to, right? We've got pictures, applications, all the way down through. So let's click on picture, but you have to remember here that these choices have to be put in this value box. So to get it there, just double click, okay? And then click OK. Now, look at our path. It says users, the username, documents, EnCase, conditions, condition 1. I'm going to change this right here, that last bit of this path, and say, I'm going to type in there picture category. So I know what it is, right? And then I'm going to click OK. Okay. And then it populates right here, right? And then to run it, now that I've built it, I'm going to come down and click it. Picture category. I want to run it against the current device so that it comes up in my results tab. And then I'm going to click OK. You can see that it's going to run down here. Jumps me to the results tab, and there it is, right? Picture category, 35 pictures should theoretically match this one, which it does, 35 and 35. That's it. That is as difficult as it is to write a condition. So let's go back and do another one, right? Come back here to user. Let's click new. I'm going to click new. And I'm going to do this time file extension. Okay. And I have different options now, right? Has a value, no value, equal to, contains, matches, fine. So I'm going to click matches again. And this one, notice that there's no options here. So we have to type in our extension. So I'm just going to do JPG, right? JPG. And let's see if this picks up JPEGs, JPGs as well. So we've got file extension matches JPEG. Click OK. I'm going to change this, right? File extension matches JPG. If you forget to change it here, you can always change it on the main screen. So I've got that. I'm terrible at spelling today. File extension matches JPG. Click OK. Here it is. And if I wanted to change it, if I had forgot to change it in the back, I can always change it here. I can rename it up front as well. So I'm going to click on this. File extension matches JPG. I'm going to do it against current device. I'm going to click OK. Ran real quick, JPG. And we should not see anything else in there. 16 of them. Good? All right, let's do another one. Come back to the evidence tab and let's do new. Oops. Click on user. Click on new. And this time I want to do a signature analysis. And a signature analysis in all forensic tools is basically saying, does the file signature, right, match the file extension? And if it doesn't, why? What is the issue, right? So we're going to say matches, right? I want to do a signature analysis that matches. Show me all bad signatures, right? Everything that does not match. So I'm going to double click it to make sure I've got it here. And I'm going to click OK. I'll change it here. File signature. Matches bad. I'm going to click enter. Come back down here. I'm going to run it on my current device. Click OK. None. No results. Nothing had a mismatched signature versus extension. So that's it, right? That is how to write a condition. All right, let's do keyword searching. Come back to the evidence tab. So to do keyword searching, we got to go back to the processor screen. So we're sitting here on the evidence tab. We're going to click process, process all. We're going to click create custom. And now I got to move that around a little bit so I can see. So we're going to come down to our keyword search function. All right, search for keywords. First, I'm going to uncheck everything because I don't want to reprocess this whole case. Although it's pretty small, so it probably wouldn't delay us that much, but I'm just going to make sure I got everything undone. All right, so I'm all clear here. I'm going to come down to search for keywords, and I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to click on where it's highlighted, and then this applet comes up. And this is the same for all keyword searching. Right. So I have some options. Do I want to search entry slack? Sure. Undelete entries before searching? I guess. Use initialized sized, not important for us. Search only Slack areas of known items in a hash library. Well, we haven't inserted a hash library, right? So we don't need to worry about that. So how do we add keywords? So we're going to come up here to this top area where it says add keyword list. And then we can just type it in, right? And I'm just going to type in, I don't know, we'll do just a single word. Let's just do star, right? We have options, right? So grep, which is, we'll talk about that in a little while. Is it case sensitive? No, I don't know. I don't want to do that. Obviously, if I do that, I'm going to limit what's identified. Do I want whole word? Yeah, in this case, I do because I don't want it to kick me up a bunch of words that start with ST or end with AR or anything like that. I'm going to leave the language preference alone for now, and I'm going to click OK. And you can see it plopped it in there for me, right? I'm going to be looking for star, search expression, whole words, and then leave that alone. So I'm going to click OK. And once I've got my word in there, I'm going to click OK and let it process. The options have changed. Do you want to continue using the current options label? Oh, sure. You can see that it's down here on the bottom right-hand corner that it's doing its thing. We can go to the view and look on the processor page, process manager, and we can see that it is indeed running. Keyword searching takes longer, right? Because it's doing a bit for bit search. Moving along, it's lagging a little bit. Watching this bottom right hand corner says it's done. And I'm going to go up to view and I'm going to go to keyword hits, and here's star. No results. No results. All right. Let's go back to evidence, and I'm just going to find a document to search. So I'm going to search, let's see. So we'll just search the term image. We'll just do a keyword search for the word image. So let's do it. We're on the evidence tab. We're going to go to process, process all. We're going to create a custom. I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to uncheck everything because I don't want to reprocess everything. And if you forget to do this, then it's not that big of a deal. In this case, isn't very big. I'm going to click keyword search. I'm going to add a keyword. I'm going to add the word image. I want the whole word. I don't want it to be case sensitive. I'm going to click OK. Search in Slack. Undelete entries before searching. Shouldn't take that long this time. I've got my search expression as image. Click OK. And then click OK. my keyword hits as it's doing its thing. Waiting patiently. So you can see that in this case, image came up. It got 32 items with 80 hits. So 32 files. Within those 32 files, 80 instances of the word image. So you can see I got a whole bunch of index.dat files, internet history related files. And then I've got some other HTML documents and those kinds of things. So I can change this to gallery view, see if it gives me anything. Nothing much there. So I click on an index.dat file, and we can come down here and we can see what it's got, right? So you can see that there's the word image that it found. No pictures, nothing really for us to see. Okay. Probably some sort of icon that's part of a webmail type of activity. Okay, so while we're here, let's go back to the evidence tab. And let's say that we want to mark something, bookmark something, right? We want to bookmark a piece of evidence. So we have some options here in EnCase. There are some built-in bookmarks, right? We can bookmark it to be reviewed, add to the report, follow up, ignore, or mark it as important. And how you use it is up to you. But you can see that I can go say I want to mark this secret folder as important. I can just click that, and now it's bookmarked. Right? And then, since I don't use the report function in Forensic Tools, I would probably at some point run a condition that says grab all my bookmarks and put them in the same spreadsheet for me so that I can export them for us. But we can do that, another time. Or you can fool around and do it yourself. It's entirely up to you. So that's a good review of how to do filters, conditions, and some keyword searching. So 2 things. I'm going to create an exercise for you that's going to require you to create a new case, process it, right, like we talked about, and then do some keyword searching and some filtering and that kind of thing to get some results, and then you can turn that in for a grade. Of course, if you have any questions, email me. If we need to, we can set up a Zoom to talk about it. I'm pretty much every day and evening except for Tuesdays and Fridays. I have other commitments in the evening that I can't get there. Can't be online. I'm free during the day, but not in the evenings on those days. From 6 o'clock on, I wouldn't be available. So check out in Brightspace. I'll set up an assignment for you with some instructions on what to do, and then we will go from there. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know so that we can get it clarified and cleaned up.